Okay, welcome. I encourage you to roll your mat out with me. We have a little bit of a request today for a stretch for the calf muscles. So if we're going to do the calf muscles, we'll do the whole leg. Okay, so things that might be helpful, that are going to be really helpful, and things that you can find around the house. You want some kind of a strap. So this could be a scarf, an actual belt. So this is a yoga belt, an actual belt, or those stretchy bands, something that it's going to come in useful. And the other thing is a kind of a book or something, like a little ledge that we're going to prop our foot onto. So we're quite a nice thick book, but we'll come back to that later. Okay. So once you maybe run around, if you're joining me live, run around and get them. And we're going to start off lying down. So once you're ready, we will come and lie down. We'll have the belt. I'm going to use the belt. Yeah, we're going to use the belt kind of early. So have the belt somewhere near the middle of your mat or by the side of your hips, wherever you are. Oh, and then just lie down. I do love lying down. Okay, so just choose where you want to be. I'm taking my arms out wide. I even bring my knees into the chest. So just see what feels good for your body. So it just depends how you've been sitting, what you've been doing all day. If you've been kind of slumped, or if you've been sitting up really well, that can still really tire out the back. So just coming to the ground and finding some movement that just releases the lower back, that releases the shoulders. And it might be that you just want to go into a big star shape. It's one of my favorite things to do. Except my dog always comes and jumps on my face when I do it, so it's not quite as good as this. So just find that movement and then find a shape to be still and just close the eyes just for a moment. It might be nice to take a breath in through the nose and open the mouth and just take a moment, just see how the body's feeling. It's always, we're always in such a rush just to kind of get on and get things done. And we don't really notice ourselves and how we're feeling. So just pause and just check in with yourself. How does your body feel? And then start to rock your head a little bit, left to right. This gives the head a little massage. I also like to think of it kind of allowing thoughts that we don't need just to fall out of the ears as you take the head from left to right. So just shaking away the day, shaking away any thoughts. And really starting to feel into the back of the head. Feeling that little massage. We'll release into the neck. So if you can soften your shoulders. And then pause somewhere in the middle. Okay, if your arms are out wide, just bring them down. We're going to bring the chest. So if it's all right, have the left leg out long and then just hug the right knee in. So you might be holding the back of the thigh, you might have the shin. There's no right or wrong, it's just what feels good to you. Now we're just going to squeeze that knee in towards your chest, in towards your heart, in towards the center of the chest. A little rock, a little squeeze. See if you can get your lower back into the ground. So this is a really big muscle through the back of the body into the thigh. I'll try not to, I always go a bit of biology on you. I try not to. With the leg that's out straight, start to turn the toes up towards the ceiling and gently push out through the heel. See if you can relax your shoulders and just pause here just for a moment. Big old muscle to release. And then we're going to slide the left leg up, bring the foot to the floor, and bring your right ankle over the top of the thigh, so just below the knee. So you're in this upside down number 4 shape. And just assume this shape. See if you can let both butt cheeks drop into the ground. Just relax into that hip a little bit, a little sway, side to side. We'll do a little bit of hip work as we're doing the legs as well. Okay, and then keep the legs still in the middle in this shape. Try not to let the knee come in, so we're encouraging the knee out. We're going to bring the hands behind our head, interlace the fingers. And then as you breathe out, slowly draw your tummy down, push your back into the ground, and lift the head and shoulders just a little bit. And we're going to move the head and shoulders over to the left. So we're moving away from this bent knee. And then place your head and see this right elbow, turn it a little bit more. And this bent knee, this right knee, can you start to push it away a little bit more? It's a lovely way to get into the side body. See if you can relax your shoulders, relax your tummy, your hips. Take a nice full breath here. Out, draw your belly button down, push your back into the ground, lift head and shoulders, come back through center. And then we're going to slide the left leg out. We're going to keep the legs crossed, sliding it out. Nice little quad release as well as a hip opener. Breathe out, lift your head and shoulders. Take them over to the right this time. And then try and point that left shoulder a little bit further behind you. Head and shoulders on the ground. Relax the shoulders. Push out through your left heel. And see if you can soften the thigh under that, the weight of your ankle. Can you soften the thigh, soften right up into the hip? Take a nice big breath. And then breathe out, come back through center. Bring your head down. Bring the hands down. We're going to keep the legs crossed. Slide the foot in. I'm going to take a hold of the left thigh. So bring your hands between the legs and interlace the hands behind the thigh. And hug the knees in. So you can use your right elbow here to just gently push into the thigh. A little rock from side to side. If this doesn't work for you, bring your foot down and just sway again. Just see what works for you. And if you have lifted the leg, we're going to take the left leg up. So left toes up and just take a nice little ankle rotation one way and the other. A little pointing up, a little drawing in towards the face. Just waking up that leg. Now just hold the toes in. So you just start to feel the calf muscle. So this is what the request has been. So start to feel a little waking up in that calf muscle. It might feel almighty. So if it's really, really, really tight, then just ease off. Just pause here. See if you feel the weight through both butt cheeks, both hips. See if you feel like you've got more weight on one side than the other. Can you balance out the weight? Okay. And then we'll bring the foot down, bring the foot to the floor. Hug the right knee back in, squeezing it in. And then we're going to get a hold of whatever you've managed to find, your belt. And we're going to bring that around the ball of your right foot, so below the toes and above the arch. Don't bring it into the arch. So that the little pads beneath the toes. Okay. And then once you've got it, you want to hold it so it's quite long, so you can relax the shoulders down. Okay, and then very gently start to draw the toes in of this foot. Okay. And notice if you're kind of sticking everything up to the ceiling. So if you can soften your ribs down, push your lower back into the ground. And then gently push up through the heel of your foot. So keeping the toes drawing in. So it might be that you've got a bend in your knee, and that's perfectly fine. It might be that you take your leg a little bit further away. So just listen to your body. But we want to start to feel a little bit of space coming right deep into this hip crease. So really push your right butt cheek down and push up through the left heel. Relax the shoulders. And just a little gentle rocking. Okay, and then a little bit more into the hips. So we're going to take both sides of the belt into your right hand. Turn your toes towards the right, so a little twist. Just pause here for a moment. Just gets into the different part of the hamstrings. Okay. And then we're going to take that foot out to the right. So take your left arm out, root down through your left shoulder, your left hip, and start to take your foot out as far as is comfortable. I'm a bit stuck because my wall is there. So if you're limited on space, you can start to push into the wall or whatever's by you. If you've got the space, take it out, but don't roll all the way over. If your butt cheek is lifted up on the left side, bring it back down. Just bring the leg back in a little bit. And then bring that foot all the way back up. Take the left leg back out long. Take the belt into your left hand. Turn the toes towards your left shoulder. So just pause the leg up, just a different part of the hamstrings. Okay, and then we're going to take the leg across the body. We're going to try and keep both butt cheeks on the floor. So it's not a big movement. That gives me an almighty stretch right into my right hip, right in there. And then take your right arm out. We're going to take it into a twist. So we're going to take that foot all the way across the body, rolling onto the left hip. So the right butt cheek now lifts up, reaching through. Maybe turn your head away and try and root down through your right shoulder. Soften your ribs, soften your back. Take a nice big breath. And as you breathe out, bring it all the way back up. And walk the hands up a little bit closer towards the foot, pushing up through the heel, pushing the butt cheek down. Okay. So as you breathe out, lift, bring your chin to the chest, lift head and shoulders towards the knee. Just see if you can get a little bit closer to the leg, maybe the leg a little bit closer to you. So just be mindful, you might be here with a bend in the knee, and that's absolutely fine. And then release it down. Ooh, bring that knee into the chest, pop the belt to the side, and just hug back where we started, hugging that right leg in. Maybe taking a little ankle circle. And then a little kind of circle with that hip. Okay, we're going to take that foot back up towards the ceiling. Draw the toes in, see how that leg feels now. And bring the hands back behind your head, interlace the hands. Try and push down through your arms, push down through your shoulders and your ribs, the back of the ribs. Firm up the tummy and then slowly lower that foot down towards the ground. Don't rush it. Try and keep it as straight as possible. Keep pushing out through the heel, out through the hip. And bring it all the way down. And just take a moment to see how that feels. For me, that leg just feels a lot flatter and a lot longer. Okay, we're going to bring the left knee in. So hug the left knee in. A little rock in and out in towards the heart. And then we'll bring this right foot to the floor. Cross the ankle over the right leg. So we're in this upside down number 4. And hands back behind the head. So we're going to take left elbow. So lift the head and shoulders, chin towards the chest. Move the head over towards the left and then lower down. See if you can reach through that right elbow. Let the right hip drop. Breathing in, breathing in. And then bring the head up through center. Bring the head down, slide the right leg out, but keep the legs crossed. So a little bit of weight coming into the thigh, into the quads, just to release. Lift the head up and then take it over to the right. And reach away, that bent knee, your left knee, reach it away as you reach up through your left elbow. Soften your shoulders, soften the ribs. Breathe into the shape. And then lift head and shoulders, come back, lower it down. Bring the legs back in. Stay here if the hips are tight. If not, reach through, take a hold of the right thigh. So interlace the hands behind the right thigh. Have the toes pointing up to the ceiling if you can, and a little rock. Wherever you are, if the foot's on the floor or wherever you are, just a little rock. Maybe a little in, kind of rocking inwards motion. And then finally, if you want to, take the right leg up. Should feel quite nice now. A little rotation into the ankle. Drawing the toes in. See how that calf is feeling. And then we'll bring it down. We're going to hug the left knee back in. Find our belt or a scarf, whatever you've got. You can use a sweatshirt. Okay, around the ball of the foot, not the arch. So just below the toes. Nice and long, so our hands are low. And then just push your left butt cheek down into the ground and then push up through the heel. So start to stretch the muscles in both directions. See if you can relax your tummy, relax the ribs, relax your knuckles. Notice if you're gripping on for dear life like a runaway horse. So see if you can relax your fingers. And then we're going to turn the toes to the left, take the belt into the left hand. Just pause, get the stretch down the outside of the hamstrings. And we'll take the right arm out wide, root down through your right shoulder and through your right butt cheek as well, and start to let that leg come out to the side. You can tilt the right knee can tilt out as a little bit of a balance. Push out through the heel. See if you can take a nice big breath. And as you breathe out, come back up through center. Switch hands, take it into your right hand, and then turn the toes towards the right. Just pause, getting into the inner hamstrings. Take your left arm out. Right leg slides out along the ground. And then we're going to take that foot over the body, but keep both butt cheeks on the floor. This is like my most intense stretch. Out of any stretch, really gets me right into that. And a little nugget there. Okay, and then we're going to take it into a twist. So rolling onto your right hip, let the left butt cheek come and take it over as far as is comfortable. I hit my wall, so I'm just going to bend my knee. So soften the left shoulder down, maybe turn your head that way. Relax the jaw. Take a nice big breath. And then breathe out, bring that foot all the way back up. So we'll draw the toes in, push the hip down. Maybe the leg comes in a little bit closer. We walk the hands up a little bit higher. Chin draws into the chest. Back pushes into the ground. Okay, so find your core strength and breathe out. Don't yank yourself up. Move from your core. See if you can bring the leg in a little bit closer towards you. So you might be here. It's all fine. The knee might still be bent. It's all good. It's all a practice. This right leg on the floor, push through the heel. Relax your shoulders, relax the jaw. And then lower the head. We'll bring the belt down. I'm going to take that right leg back up. Oh, let's do a little hip circle first. I forgot. So just give that leg a little hip circle. One way and the other. And then take that foot up towards the ceiling. Draw the toes towards your face. See if you can hold it there. Draw the lower back into the floor. And then chin drawing into the chest so you're not overextending the back of the neck. Slowly keep the legs straight. See how far you can lower before the body wants to give in. See if you can slow it all the way down. Keep lengthening out through the hip. And then allow it to rest. Give the hips a little shimmy. Okay, we're going to bring both knees in together. A little core strength. So take both legs up and draw both sets of toes in towards you. See if you can keep the legs up. They don't have to be straight here, but a little bit of energetic lift. So stretching into the calf muscles. As you breathe out, chin to the chest, back pushing into the ground. See if you can lift head and shoulders towards the knees. Try not to strain the neck. So chin is tucked in. We're lengthening the back of the neck. Try and draw the shoulders away from the ears. And just pause. Bring the elbows in. Hug them around your face. See if you can breathe here. Keep pushing up through the heels. And then breathe out. Lower the head. Let the elbows come down. Ground the arms into the floor. Okay. Lower back pushes into the floor. Push through the heels and see if you kind of glue your legs together. Glue the calves together. And start to lower both legs. And go as far as you can. So now I'm starting to feel that. We don't want to strain the lower back. So go as far as you can. And then soften the knees. I'm chickening out there. And slide the legs down to the ground. Okay. The hands still behind the head. Pick up the head, take them over to the right. Take the head over to the right. I don't know why I've just gone really blurry. There and back. Okay, head over to the right and then push down through your left foot. Find that space into the left side of the body. Soften something, take a big breath. And breathe out through center. See if we can take it all the way over to the left side. Push through the right foot, reach through the right elbow, and then soften everything in between. Take a nice big breath. breathe out, come through center. Okay, bring the knees back in. And we're going to rock ourselves up into a seat. Let's bring a little bit more energy into the body. Bringing it up, take a few rocks if you're not on a really hard floor. I'm coming up into a seat. I'm just going to get a drink. And we're actually going to bring it all the way onto our tummies. So just come to hands and knees. Just while we're here, where hands and knees, bring your right toes to the ground and start to push out through the heel of that foot. So if you've got tight calves here, this is a real doozy. So I keep saying the word doozy. Just it makes me ashamed that I use that word. So I'm sorry. Okay. So pushing through the heel. If you've got really tight calves, have a little rock forwards and backwards. See if you can get your little toe involved. It's the little toe hovering. Can you bring it onto the ground? And then hold it back. Okay. And then we're going to lift this leg up behind you. We want to have the hips level. We don't want to be hiking that leg up too high. So hips are level to the ground. Push out. See if you can find that kind of space that we've created in that hip using the belt. Pushing through. And then step your left fingers forwards. So we're up on the left fingertips. Reaching through the body. Tummy's drawing up. And then we're going to bend this back leg, point the toes up, a little bit of pulsation into that thigh, into the hip. A really lovely way to bring blood into the hamstrings, just to give them a bit more mobility. Okay, and then we're going to squeeze that knee through, bring your left hand forwards, squeeze it through and step it forwards between your hands. And bring your hands up onto this front thigh. Okay. So we want to make sure we've got knee above ankle and starting to stretch into this the front of the back leg. Okay, see if you can spread your collarbones, look up. See if you can bring some weight into your front heel. Relax the toes. Take a breath. And then bring your hands down either side of you, right up onto the fingertips. Take your bum back and lift the toes, bring them in towards you. So the further forward you place the hands, the deeper the stretch into the back of the leg. So see what works for you. You might want to be high up. If your hamstrings or your calf muscles are tight, you want to be higher up. But wherever you are, you want to think of bringing your tummy towards your thigh. So quite often we see people doing this, and that's not really, all you're going to do is get a bad back. So what we want to do is drop the belly down, extend through the spine, really changes the shift. Let's take one more breath. Maybe if you've got tight calf muscles, bring your fingers onto your toes gently. We don't force it, just increases the stretch a little bit more into the calf. One more breath and then roll it forwards. We're going to send this foot back. I don't know why I keep going blurry. It's quite annoying, isn't it? And then round your spine. Take it down to a child pose. And then look towards your hands, bring it forwards and slide all the way onto your tummy. Just taking it up into a little back bend. Bring your forearms to the ground. Push down through your feet. Push down through your arms and then lift the chest. Spread the collarbones. See if you can draw your belly towards your spine. Keep pushing the feet into the ground. See if you can relax the hips down into the ground. Nice big breath. And then breathe out, take it down. I'm going to push up hands and knees. Bring the left toes to the floor behind you. Little rock forwards and backwards here. Or maybe you just want to hold it still and push through. Okay, so we're going to step the right fingers forward. So right up on the right fingertips, float the left leg up behind you. Try and level off the hips. Toes are pointing down, pushing through the heel. Lifting up through the belly. And then we're going to bend that back knee. Point the toes up. A little pulsation. See if you can find a little bit of heat coming into that back of your thigh. Okay, and then plant your hands. We're going to step that foot through. Bring the hands up onto the front thigh. Interlace the hands. Make sure you've got knee above ankle. And we're looking to have a little bit of gap between this heel, the back knee. And just start to drop the hips forwards and down. Spread the collarbones and look up. Maybe let the tummy draw in slightly so we're not completely dumping into the back here. Lifting up out of the lower back. Taking a breath. And then bring the hands down. So we'll take our runner's stretch on this side, half splits pose. So fingertips come forwards, toes in towards the face, and then tummy towards the thigh. So you might be right up here. This is all good. So we're drawing the left hip in. Don't let the left hip kind of roll out. Draw it in towards you. Tummy kind of eases its way in towards the thigh. If you want to go a little bit deeper into the calf muscle, don't overstretch it, remember. You can bring your hand onto the front toes, just drawing a little bit of a deeper stretch. Okay, and then we'll roll it forwards. Okay, step it back. Roll all the way back down onto your tummy. And this time bring the elbows out wide. I don't know why I keep going blurry. Okay, elbows are out wide, and we're going to step the toes under. So you're lying down. Okay, so we're lying down. We've got the toes are tucked under, and I want you to start to walk your toes in towards you. So your knees are going to lift off the ground. We're charging up the legs until you kind of reach that point where you can't go any further. Push out through the heels, ground your hips down, bring your forehead down, relax the shoulders. So really charging up the legs. Breathing into your tummy. Okay, I'm going to keep the legs where they are. We're going to bring the upper body back into that Sphinx pose. So bring the elbows underneath your shoulders, forearms to the ground, lifting up, push through the heels, and reach up through the crown of your head. So you relax the shoulders. Take a nice big breath. And one more. Okay, and as you breathe out, lower it down, untuck the toes. Just for a moment, just give the ankles a little bit of a twist, a release. Bring the hands under the shoulders, push yourself up. Okay, and we're gonna come all the way to standing. So bring the hands in towards you. Take my big jumper off. And the way that we're gonna come up to standing, we're gonna get the feet a little bit more involved. So we're going to tuck our toes under. So toes are tucked. And see if you can sit your bum down onto your heels. Always joyful, waking up the feet. And then we're going to bring the fingertips either side of the knees. Lift the knees up, squeeze the knees together. Okay, so a little toe stand. And then from here, right up on the tips of your fingers, let's see if we can lift your bum up, but stay up on the tiptoes. So you can have a bend into the knees here. See if you can lift your butt cheeks a little bit higher. And then bend your knees. Try and stay on your toes, bring it down, and bring the knees back down to the floor. Okay, just have a little pause. We're going to do that again. Fingertips on the floor, lift the knees. Okay, and then lift your bum as high as it will go. Right up on your fingertips. Right up on the tiptoes, lifting up. And now, stay where you are, but lower the heels to the ground. And maybe the tummy comes towards the thighs a little bit more. Maybe you've got a little bend into your knees. We'll take a hold of the elbows, bring chin to the chest and have a dangle. Really let the head be heavy. And then release the hands down. We're going to roll up really slowly to standing. So the head comes up last of all. All the way up, and give the shoulders a little roll when you get there. Okay, so we should be at the back of your mat if you're on a mat. We're going to step our right foot forwards and keep both sets of heels on the floor, both sets of toes facing forwards. So you might want to take the feet a little bit wider this way. So not that way, but this way. Okay. Bring your hands onto your hips. So both heels are into the floor. Push into the big toe of both feet and push into the heel. So really ground down through your feet. And pushing into the big toe just stops you overextending your knees. So be really, really mindful. So with the hands on the hips, what we're going to start to do is bring the tummy forwards, send the hips back. Okay. So we start to come into this pose. It's called pyramid pose. And it might be that you come up here. Really awesome stretch for the calf. Okay, might be that you're here, it depends on your body. So you might start to bring the tummy down a little bit lower. You might find that you bring your fingertips to the floor. Just work with your body. I've got massively long arms. So it all depends on your body. But wherever you are, draw that right hip back. It's going to give you a beautiful stretch into that leg. And take one more breath here. And then we're going to pick up the back heel, bend that back leg, and then lift your toes up towards your face. So this can be with hands on the hips or fingers on the floor. If you own yoga bricks, you never know, yoga bricks are awesome for this. I love yoga bricks. So just drawing the toes in. If you want to go for the really big stretch and you can reach, you can bring fingers gently into that foot. Take it a little bit deeper. Okay, and then we'll bring that foot back down, bring the back heel down, hands to the hips if they're not there already. Bend both knees and slowly, ooh, my legs are shaking, roll it all the way up. Okay, and then step the back foot forwards. And just give the legs a little shake. Ooh, okay, little stretch in between sides for the IT band down the side of the thigh. So we're going to bend into the left knee. Okay, hinge it forwards. So legs are together. Hinge it forwards. And we're going to stretch, we're going to bring the left hand onto the left thigh, so the bent thigh. Right hand into your lower back and then twist towards the straight leg. And if you really push down through the heel, start to feel a nice stretch down the outside of the thigh maybe. So if you can turn your chest a little bit more. And then breathe out. Bring left heel to the floor. Come into a forward fold. See how the legs are feeling. Breathe in. Rise up halfway. Hands onto the thighs, lifting it up. And then breathe out. Take it down. Bend the knees. Take the arms out wide and come all the way up to standing. And breathe out. Hands to the heart. And we'll come back to the back of the mat. So we're going to step the left foot forwards. Not too far. So we want both heels on the floor. Blurry again. Okay. Make sure all 5 toes are pointing forwards. Okay. Make sure you feel balanced. So take the front foot wider if you need to. Push into the heels of the feet. So grounding down. So that charges up the back of the legs. But then push into your big toes as well. Just protect the knees. And we start to hinge forwards. So as we hinge forward, so we're hinging here. We're not hinging here in the middle of our back. So we've got this hinging joint. Okay, and this might be where we stay. This might be an almighty stretch. Okay, if you've got the space, the option is to take it further forward and maybe fingertips come to the floor. So I'm going to take that option. So try and do the same as what you did on the other side. So you come out lopsided, but not to the detriment. If one side is really stiff, don't force it. But the focus is to bring the belly towards the thigh. Keeping that back, lengthening. And notice the stretch and how can you soften? What can you soften in that stretch? Okay. And then we're going to bend the back knee. You can lift the heel. See if you can draw the toes in towards your face. Keeping that belly drawing towards the thigh. An added little stretch would be to bring your fingers onto the toes. But again, don't force it. If you've got tight calves or tight hamstrings, the worst thing you can do is force the stretch. So it's all about kind of easing it in. Think about like when your body kind of sinks into a warm bubble bath. That kind of, feeling. We'll bring that foot back to the ground. Ground your back heel. A little bend into both knees. Roll all the way up, nice and slow. We'll step the back foot forwards. Give the legs a little stretch, and we'll take that IT band stretch on the other side. So a little bend into your right knee. So kind of drop in the hips. Bring your right hand onto the right thigh, left hand onto your back, and twist towards the straight leg. So pushing down through that heel. So you can turn the chest a little bit more. Breathing into that stretch. And then slowly bring it back, breathe out, take it down. See if you're a bit closer towards the ground. We'll breathe in, lift it up halfway. And then take it down. Nice bend into the knees, arms out wide. Come all the way up to standing. And breathe out, hands to your heart. Okay. Last little standing stretch. If you've got a brick, if you've got, I'm just thinking yoga brick. If you've got a thick book or something kind of like that, you could also do this on a step. So first thing first, if you've got something thick that you can put your foot upon, so we keep the heel on the floor and we push the foot in and lean the body forwards. So you could do this with one foot, you could do it with both. Okay, so that starts to get into the calf muscles. The other option would be to do this on a step. So you would stand on the stairs and then drop one heel down. That's quite nice. So just see what works for you, what you've got around you that you can use. And another option would be, if you don't have anything and you're near a wall, would be to walk your toes in towards the wall. Maybe it's because it's getting dark. I don't know why they're completely lost focus. In so many ways. Oh, there you have that. So yeah, you could walk your toes in towards the wall. It's not very comfortable. So just see what works for you. So if you do have a book that you can stand upon, what we want to do is lift up. So the weight's coming into the heels. You're not slouching down, we're pushing down to lift up. The tummy draws in, the bum comes in. Okay, so we don't want to be sticking everything out, drawing it in. And it's like there's a piece of thread pulling up through the crown of your head. And you could close the eyes. So if you're doing this on one foot at a time, then switch. If you're doing it on both, stay where you are. But see if you can stay with the eyes closed and just notice the breath. See what you can soften down. We'll take one more breath. And then as you breathe out, open the eyes, step away, and just give the ankles a little rotation. One way and the other. Shake the legs out. And we're going to bring it down to the ground. Last little bit. So again, we're going to use some kind of a strap or a belt. And we're going to bring one leg in, bend one leg, and take the other leg out. If this leg doesn't like being out, you can bring a cushion and wedge it underneath. But we'll bring the belt around the ball of, I've gone with my right leg. And then see if you can take that leg a little bit wider. Let's take it wide. Toes are pointing up. And we'll use the belt. So we're going to turn our chest towards the belt. The hips stay where they are. So a little bit of a twist. Nice and long in the belt first of all. Find length in your spine. Keep pushing out through the heel. Okay. And then think tummy towards the thigh. So use the belt to pull you in. Keep pushing out through the heel, lifting up out of that hip. So the tummy is lifting away. Lengthen, lengthen. And it might be that you start to walk your hands down your belt. And find that stretch and then soften. Soften, where do you feel it? So I felt that my hip was really tight into that stretch. So it's just, how can you release? And it might be, if you're really bendy, that you've come all the way down. You can bring head to the knee. That's the name of the pose, is head to knee pose. But it might be that you stay up. So don't force. We just accept where we've come to. We'll take one more breath. Okay, and then ease yourself out. You're going to take the belt into the right hand, same hand as the leg. And you can go quite close to the foot, as far as is comfortable. Little bend's going to come into this elbow. We turn the chest towards the bent knee, and we're going to take the left arm up and over. Okay, so you might be up here, and we bend the elbow. See if you can bring it to the inside of that leg. Turn your gaze upwards. Lovely stretch through the side body. Keep pushing out through that straight leg. And it might be that you find your toe, you might find the belt But if that makes you do this, if you start to curl in, then you take that arm back up. So we want to keep the chest open. So you only go for the belt or the toe if you can keep the chest open. Take one more breath, ground down through the left hip. And then push through, use your core, lift yourself up. Ooh, okay, and then just turn back towards that leg, just pull yourself in once more, see if you've got a bit more space. And then roll it all the way up. Release the belt. Bring that leg in, we'll take the opposite leg out. Bring the belt around that foot. Okay. And we'll push out through the heel. So you want, it's like visualizing like there's a little gap comes into this hip joint. Okay, so pushing away, find some space, because that's what gives you the lift. Lift up through the waist, keep pushing through the heel of that foot, and then draw, use the belt to pull you in, tummy towards the thigh. And if you're here, that's brilliant, okay? And if you're here, just lift up out of the back. And it depends who you are, what your body does. So it might be that you come all the way down. But what I would say, if you're a very flexible person and you can just kind of release and come down, what you should be trying to do with the belt is to engage all the muscles in the legs. So it's like you're hugging the muscles in rather than just releasing into the shape. So just cultivating some strength. So sometimes when we're really flexible, we miss the strength. So we'll take one more breath wherever you are. And then chin to the chest, roll up. Take the belt into the left hand. So the elbow is going to come down the inside of that leg. Turn towards your bent knee and take the right arm up and over. And then start to lower in. So nice side stretch. Maybe you reach up first and then start to relax the body over. Try and be really heavy into your right hip. Turning the gaze upwards. Maybe you bring it all the way down, but again, don't compromise that stretch into the legs. We'll take one more breath. And then bring it all the way back up. Turn once more towards that front thigh, leaning it over, drawing the chest towards the leg, the belly towards the thigh. And then gently roll it all the way up. Release the belt. Give the shoulders a roll. We're going to bring the feet together. Little diamond shape with the legs. If you bring the heels in a little bit closer and just a little upward and down, rocking of the thighs, and then a little forwards and backwards. Okay. And then we'll bring the knees up. And we're going to come and lie on our backs. So last little shape, if you did find a book, I'm going to use it. I might want to put a cushion on it. I'm just thinking. A really, really lovely stretch after all these leg stretches is if you have something like a yoga brick or a block or a book, we're going to bring it. Didn't do that very elegantly. You would lie on your back and slide the brick underneath you. And you want to bring it to your sacrum, really. It just depends on the size of it. So we want it to be more right in the lower back, kind of above the bum, just elevating the hips slightly. If you don't have anything, don't worry, you can do it without, just lie on the floor. But we're going to bring the right knee into the chest and slide the left leg out long. So just make sure you're comfortable and hugging it in. It's quite nice to do this with something under the back, so it just gives your back a little stretch as well. So all 5 toes are pointing up to the ceiling, hugging in that right thigh. See if you relax the head and shoulders. And then kind of stop hugging. Just let the leg and the arms be where they are. Relax the muscles and close the eyes. See if you can soften downwards. And notice if your right waist is all bunched up, you just lengthen the right waist a little bit. I'm just going to stay here for maybe 3 or 4 breaths. Try and relax into the butt cheek. Okay, bring the hands to the back of that thigh. Just extend that leg up. Just rotate that ankle. And then we'll bring that foot to the floor. Bring the left knee in, hugging it in, and slide your right leg out long. So just start with that little rocking, just hugging it in. All 10 toes pointing upwards. And then just find some stillness and find some heaviness into the body. I'm just staying for a few breaths. Try to release downwards. Try not to squish the left side of the body. When you're ready, we'll bring the hands behind that leg, take the foot up, just a little ankle circle. Okay, then bring that foot to the floor. Bring the opposite foot in as well. Bring the heels underneath the knees. We're going to slide anything that's beneath you away. And just lower the back down. So the hands by the side of the body, palms facing up. Just final pose. We're going to push into the heels of your feet. And as you breathe in, lift the hips up, just stretching into the quads, into the hip crease. Squeeze the bum. See if you can hold it up here. Might even want to bring the hands underneath the body. See if you can interlace your fingers. Roll the shoulders underneath you. Maybe just lift up a little bit higher. Just a little counter stretches. Rather than stretching the hamstrings, we're contracting them. Stretching the quads. Try not to let the knees rock out. Squeeze the knees as if they were going to touch. We'll take one more breath. And then release the hands. Roll your spine down, super, super slow, right from the neck, rolling down one by one, all the way down. Bringing the knees in towards the chest, just a little happy baby. So we'll bring the arms to the inside of the knees. See if you can catch a hold of your ankles, maybe your feet, maybe the outside edge of the feet, maybe the inside. See what feels nice. And we're going to take the knees wide. Drawing the thighs down, little rock. Okay, and then bringing the feet in, hug the knees in. Bring the feet to the floor, slide them out long. Bring the hands down by the side of the body with the palms face up. See if you can roll the shoulder blades underneath the body. And let the eyes close. And just be still for a moment. Just feel into your legs. Sorry, I just kicked my candle. So just feeling through the length of your legs. And start to visualize some straws, a drinking straw. So as you breathe in, it's like you're drinking upwards through a straw. As you breathe out, it's like the liquid is traveling back down to the soles of the feet. See if you can follow that rhythm of your breath through the legs. Just allowing all this space that you've created just to receive the goodness and just to let go of any effort as well. I'll just stay here just for another minute. Try not to get distracted. See if you can allow yourself 30 more seconds of stillness. And start to rock your head from left to right. A little wriggle of the fingers, a little wriggle of the toes. We're going to bring the feet together, take the arms up overhead and have a big, big stretch. So if you can draw your back into the ground and then bring your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a hug and then a rock, rolling onto one side of your body, pausing just for a moment. And then keep the head low as you gently push into the ground and bring yourself up into a seat. And find a comfortable seat. Give the shoulders a roll. Notice how you feel. And as you walk away from this practice, see how good your legs feel. So thank you very much. We'll bring our hands together at the heart, bowing the head to the hands, the mind to the body. Namaste. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed. Any more requests, send them through. Happy to oblige, happy to accommodate. So thank you very much. Cheers.